one of the nicest, kindest and most gentle individuals to grace these benches. That's how the Prime Minister describes Sir David Amess, who was stabbed to death in his constituency on Friday.
Our reporter Ben Boulos is in Lee-on-Sea for us today. That is Sir David's constituency in Southend, which will gain city status in memory of him. Ben, we can see some of the flowers and some of the tributes that have been laid behind you. It's a really bittersweet moment, isn't it, that for Southend?
Oh, very much so. I mean, that awarding of city status, it's a very, very rare honour indeed, and perhaps nobody knew that more so than Sir David Amess himself. He was the biggest champion for this area. He was someone who campaigned for that year after year after year. And here we have a very quick decision on it, and in many ways, a lot of people are saying there could be no better fitting tribute to his memory. Everyone that we heard from in Southend is delighted by it. Among them, and with me, is David Stanley, a friend of Sir David Amess's, and who campaigned alongside him for city status. And how did you feel when you heard yesterday the Prime Minister announce in the House of Commons Southend would become a city?
Well, it was such an emotional moment. I must admit, I suppose the build-up of all the outcrying of just the overwhelming feeling of loss and the devastating news on Friday, and then for yesterday, for the Prime Minister to make that announcement, I have to admit I burst into tears. Just emotion overcame me because Sir David loved Southend. So for that announcement to be made, you know, in his memory, this city, Southend City, will hopefully now be able to in the future heal and then thrive in his memory.
And why is city status so important? Why did it matter to Sir David so much that Southend got that status?
Well, Sir David was all about promoting Southend and the people of Southend. So I think he was very aware that I think towns can be somewhat isolated, I think, in many ways. They can just stay as they are, and everybody that achieves anything in it just stays under the Southend local, regional banner. But Sir David thought Southend was more than that. He wanted Southend to be a beacon. He wanted Southend to be put on the map, not just in this country, but internationally. So anything that could do that for the people that he loved, for the town he loved, was really the priority for Sir David. So I think that's it. It's about putting Southend on the map.
And you worked with him in that campaign to achieve city status for Southend. How did that happen? How did that friendship come back? How did he rope you into that campaign?
Well, yes, he had a wonderful habit of roping everybody into everything. I've known Sir David for 25 years. As a musician in the town, he would often ask me to play the piano at a reception or a concert. So we just got to know each other. And then he supported my charity, the Music Man Project, which is a wonderful organisation for people with learning disabilities. And so then, you know, after a while, he would often come up to me and say, look, you know, what can I do for you and your charity? And as our friendship grew, he roped me in to helping him promote Southend. Initially a few years ago, under the City of Culture campaign, which we didn't succeed in, and then he just called us the Alternative City of Culture, which was very Sir David. And then just more recently, yes, I was the vice chair of his committee to try and work the bid up for application for city status. And only a couple of weeks ago, I was with him as we were launching that campaign. And he was so proud to do that and just wanted to see how far we could go.
Okay, David Stanley, thank you very much for speaking to us on BBC Breakfast this morning. And in the Commons yesterday, we saw that most unusual thing, a House united, speaking almost with one voice, people sharing their memories of Sir David Amess, their colleague and also their friend. And among the tributes, the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, described him as Mr. Southend. And so for the town to become a city, to get city status in his honour, could be no bigger, no better, no fitting tribute, and will certainly become part of Sir David Amess's legacy to the constituency he represented for so many years.
Ben, thank you very much indeed. That's Ben Boulos in Lee-on-Sea for us there.
And MPs will be reflecting on their personal safety as normal